So I come out here enjoying myself on a nice Sunday evening, and I notice all these chemtrails in the sky. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure if that's one over there, probably. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those two are right next to each other. Oh, there's a plane spraying one up there. Oh, there's another one over there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me zoom in. There's one right there. And there's one right there. They're basically flying parallel to each other, dumping chemicals on us. If you don't believe me when I told you before in one of my songs, these chemtrails have aluminum oxide and barium in them. You can actually find residue buildup in the soil, in the ground when you take samples, and in the water too. Those chemicals are poisonous. And it seems like they're always dumping these whenever it's a clear day. Artificial clouds, controlling the weather and poisoning us at the same time. Do some research if you don't believe me. It's disgusting. There's two that were flying parallel right there. You can tell that these aren't just condensation trails because those disappear. You can actually go and look online, and there's footage where they turn them off and on in midair. Condensation would clear up within 30 seconds. These are huge clouds that stay in the sky for hours. Time to wake up, guys. Keep your eyes open. Just in case any of you are unfamiliar with the subject, I have some proof to show you just exactly what I'm talking about. The first clip I'm going to play shows the difference between a condensation trail and a chemtrail. This first one you can see has a tiny little trail behind it. That's just condensation. Okay, it disappears right away. You'll notice when you look at this one, this trail stays. That's what turns into those big clouds that you see. That's what is dumping the aluminum oxide and barium. That one's not spraying anything, as you can see. It disappears, you can't see it behind it. So there is a difference. You can tell when one is spraying and one isn't. As you can see, this trail stays in the sky. They stay in there for hours. It's because they're spraying. They're spraying chemicals. In this clip, you're going to see that this plane that's spraying a chemtrail is going to shut it off in midair. Right there, we shut it off. So it's not just condensation. If it was just condensation, it would be staying with it the whole time and disappearing in seconds like we saw in that last video. But this shows that they control when they spray and when they don't. And that it's not just condensation. And you'll see here that he turns it right back on again in midair, off then on again. So if you don't believe me, the proof's right here. I'm about to show you the toxicity levels of these chemicals and proof that they are showing up in our soil. This first one here is an article taken from a town called Homestead. They did some soil testing. It says that the aluminum reading they had reported in their 10 local soil tests range from a high of 1,692 parts per million to a low of 712 parts per million, and that the lowest one happened to be in the town that they started with, Holmesfield. The average of all 10 samples was 1,247 parts per million, which is in the very high range of what is published to be normal. Keep in mind, these chemicals are not naturally occurring. They're man-made compounds. They don't just show up in nature, okay? They have to be put there, and this is how they're getting put there. This one shows that the barium and aluminum was confirmed, and they went and they showed some testing they did on the water where it shows the aluminum level was 0.148 milligrams per liter and the barium was 0.006 milligrams per liter. Again, these things don't occur in nature. They have to be put there, and these chemtrails are how they're getting in there. And if you look, here's a little description about why they're dumping these chemicals. They'll admit it. It says that they act like electrolytes in a car battery. Barium chemtrails developed at Ohio Wrights-Patterson Air Force Base and routinely sprayed into the atmosphere or ducked to bend military radio and radar waves over the horizon instead of continuing straight beyond the Earth's curvature into space. So what they're saying is they're using these to manipulate their radio signals to make it easier for them to communicate, but that's just the reason they're giving you to justify why they have to do this. The real reason they're doing it is to introduce these chemicals into our environment because they're poisonous. They cause diseases that we as humans never had 100 years ago. This one right here was just a quick Google search of the aluminum oxide toxicity. It says right here, aluminum oxide is the most used man-made abrasive because it has no free silica, which is what cuts your lungs. The aluminum oxide in floors and in coating, etc. And breathing fumes from solvents and sanding dust would increase the exposure through the lungs as well and increase the toxic effects. So this right here does show that aluminum oxide is a dangerous chemical. People should not be breathing it. This one here is the toxicity for barium. It's pretty interesting. It says that the Ba2 plus ion and the soluble compounds of barium, notably chloride, nitrate, hydroxide, are toxic to humans. Although barium carbonate is relatively insoluble in water, which means it doesn't dissolve. So if it's getting dumped in the water, it's staying in there until you drink it. It says that it's toxic to humans because it is soluble in the gastrointestinal tract. So that's proof that these chemicals are poisonous to humans. And they're dumping them on us every day. I hope that this video helped to open some of your eyes up to what's really going on. I know that I mention this type of stuff a lot in my music, and sometimes it's hard for people to believe. I encourage you to go out and do your own research. I have a great documentary. If you guys are interested in more information for this, it explains way more than I ever could. I'll put it at the end of the video here so you can check it out. Thanks for watching, guys.